Hey everyone, today we're going to look at how you can create a weekly view like this one and at the formulas you're gonna need for that and for displaying whether a task is due today, tomorrow, or whether you should reschedule it. So let's get started. Okay, here we have a database with a couple of sample tasks with some dates set up that will help us demonstrate why we actually need these formulas, why we cannot just use filters. And let's get started with the simpler formula that will help us divide the days by the name of the day that it's actually planned for, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. As you can see, it really is not difficult. So let's start writing it. This is of course a property. If you wanted to create it, you would just select property, here text, and select formula. But I actually have these pre-prepared, so let's go here and start typing format date. Now, if you select this, you can see that date using the moment standard time format string. The moment standard time format string tells you what time formats you can actually use and what tokens to use for them. You can find the link to the whole database in the description, but we already know that for this we need this for lowercase d token. So let's just select planned for. We can click here and it will automatically select this property planned for, comma, close the bracket. And as you can see now already, it displays what day each of these tasks is planned for. So that was the simpler formula. Now let's look at the just a bit more complicated formula that we will actually need for filtering just the tasks that belong to this week. So the week starting on Monday and ending on Sunday. That means that when we do this filtering according to this formula that we're going to create, we do want to see last Monday there, but we don't want to see next Monday, which belongs to next week. And we also don't want to see last Sunday there. But if we just used filters for that, and we could try filtering according to plan for, we could theoretically do is within the next week. But as you can see, that includes next Monday because today is Wednesday. So of course within the next week means next Monday as well. So we could also try is on or before 1 week from now, but that still leaves us next Monday. And unlike the previous view, this includes last Monday, which is this week, but it also includes last Sunday, which was last week. So we don't want this filter either. So let's get started with the formula. We have the spoiler for that here. So you can see it's just a bit longer, but not too complicated. The key formula here is if. And the way the if formula works is that you first need a boolean and then you need to describe what's supposed to happen when the boolean is true and when it's false. Boolean is anything that will return either true or false. But let's start by breaking this formula down so that it's easier for you to follow what's happening in there. And also this is actually a very useful practice when you're trying to write your own a bit more complicated formula, complex formulas, because it helps you follow where you got something wrong. It helps you debug the formula. But anyway, let's change this property into a formula that will tell us week number, because that's what this part, this format date prop, actually does. So Yeah, as you can see, it shows us 14, 15, 16. And that's exactly what this part does. And the capital W is actually important because the capital W is for ISO week dates. So those are weeks starting with Monday. If you prepare your weeks to start on Sundays, you would have to use lowercase w. So as you can see, this last Monday, this week, with lowercase w, it's 15, with capital, it's 14. So I prefer ISO weeks. And with this, we're almost done with our Boolean, because this right side, as you can see, is pretty much the same. The only thing is here we have date at now -1 weeks. So we're subtracting 1 week from right now. So we're just looking at the number of the week that it was 1 week ago. And we compare it to planned for. And of course, if planned for was the same week number as it was a week ago, we want to label that last week. If planned for was the same week number as it's right now, we want to label it this week. And if planned for is the same week number as 1 week from now, we want to label it next week. So this is pretty much how the if formula works. If we take a look at the syntax once again, this Boolean, of course, is this comparison of the week date of planned for to the actual current week date. And if it's true, that's the first value, we print out last week. If it's not true, the not true value is the second if function. And if the second if function is true, it prints out this week. If the second if function is not true, then the not true value of the second if function is the third if function. So we just have these 3 if functions nested like this. So now we're ready to type the formula out. Unfortunately, we cannot just copy paste this in this pretty format, because yeah, that's not how formulas works. It would take in some extra spaces. So I just behind the scenes copied the formula from somewhere where I already had it in formula input friendly format. And yeah, this is what it looks like. And here we can see, that I actually used the wrong date, not the date I wanted. Last Monday I actually meant the Monday 2 days ago. So yeah, now you can see that indeed last Monday this week is labeled this week, today also this week, next Monday actually next week, last Sunday last week. Again, if we change the comparisons here, or rather the format, to lowercase w, then this would also become this week. But we don't really want to do that. So now we can sound the fanfares, because we're finally ready to create the much wanted weekly view. We will start with board, say this week, and now we just group it by, as we did in the beginning, planned for the day of the week. And now we want to get rid of next Monday, next week, last Sunday, last week. So we just filter for where planned for contains. And now this is where the emojis come in handy, because instead of typing week and having to be exact with the wording, we can just use the unique emoji that we have set up for this week. And voila, this is it. And finally, I also promised you the to do today formula, but actually that one's almost exactly the same as the planned for week formula. And again, behind the scenes, I copied it from elsewhere. As you can see, the only difference is that instead of weeks, the token for weeks, we're using the token for days, and we're just using this comparison lower for. So what this means is that if the planned for is lower or is before now, we want to reschedule it. And if it's the same as today, we print out today. If it's tomorrow, we print out tomorrow. If it's later, nothing happens. And I like to do that because just looking at these planned for doesn't really give me too much clarity, but with this formula I can very easily see what's happening today, what's happening tomorrow, and what I need to reschedule. So that's it for today. I hope this was useful. If you're still not feeling confident enough to write these formulas yourself, you can just duplicate the template that I just created from the link below. And if you liked this video, if you did find it useful, please like and subscribe. That's the very best way for helping me grow this channel. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.